Hey, so I chose to report on um, Chapter 11, Case 3 from the Fern Banks book titled Immigrant Rescue. And so um, the crisis here was Holland America Line. Um, After its ship's crew members of MS Nordum, the cruise ship, the specific cruise ship, thought they saw a man or a person overboard. Um, Crew members soon found roughly 22 people overboard, only to realize that they were actually refugees from Somalia, Iran, Iraq, and Palestine who'd been in a refugee house in Turkey. Um, the refugees' intentions were to get to a Greek island in hopes of jobs and a life under human rights laws, but on the way, their motorboat had capsized, leaving them stranded in the ocean. And so, Holland American Line sent out rescue boats, and once rescued, provided them with food, clothing, and medical assistance. And so the issue arises from a moral and legislative conflict. And so the Holland American Line felt morally obligated to rescue refugees, really just to rescue people that they saw stranded. Um, Although the law demands that they disembark rescued persons at the next port of call, which so happened to be Turkey, where the refugees had fled from. So there's sort of the humanitarian conflict. Um, and at the time, the America Line was in Kudasi, Turkey, and so they had to port the ship there an extra day while diplomats from the Netherlands, United States, and Great Britain deliberated the repatriating of the refugees with the Turkish government. And so that delay affected the ship's schedule, which resulted in many passengers being pretty angry and upset that they were to miss their scheduled visit to Malta, which many said was to be the highlight of the trip. And moreover, missing Malta meant a loss of revenue for Holland America Line via lack of shore excursions. Also, while vendors in Malta would likewise suffer economically. But Holland America Line responded promptly and quite effectively. So Andrews, the ship's captain, said, Holland America Line has a very deep sense of its humanitarian role, as well as a commitment to service and our guests. And so their humanitarian bent, led them to rescue these refugees, bring them into shelter, clothe them, provide them with food. But that also kind of ran against the grain of the will of their guests, to get to Malta, to be on schedule with, the cruise they paid for. Um, but Andrews went on to say how they kept, through the whole crisis, how they kept their guests informed so they understood the situation. Um, and he says, even though we missed a port, the passengers understood the reasons behind it, and nearly everyone supported this. Um, the ship's hotel manager is said to have sent out several statements to guests from the captain to apologize for the incident and even gave partial refunds. And to cap the whole incident, the ship's officers and staff made a presentation to the passengers relating the details of the incident, and they received a standing ovation from the passengers. And so this really exemplifies how prompt, effective, honest PR is well received by the public, even if they are negatively affected. They, in most cases, by and large, will understand. Um, and then from there, the PR department issued an official news release to travel media and other concerned publics. And so their outreach process is pretty wide, which is crucial to really any PR department. Um, they say how we use PR Newswire and post on our website, and then we keep a log of those working the story to always send updates. And so they're sure that the information they are disseminating is updated. Um, and at the time, the PR department actually hadn't been using um, pretty prominent social media platforms such as Twitter and Facebook, which, after evaluating the crisis, they realized what was a weakness. And so, as you can see, the evaluation process they underwent revealed places of weakness, which they then corrected in order to better prepare themselves for crises of sorts in the future, um, which is really crucial for any PR department to be constantly updating and realizing where their weaknesses lie and then rectifying them. And they note how their outreach also includes port officials, other airlines, travel agents, vendors, visitors, and shore excursion operators to make sure that everybody is aware of what is happening so that everybody can then, cooperate with each other and coordinate the best possible response and solution to the problem. Thanks.